2.
So we're streaming now. We're on.
We're live.
Hi!
Hey everybody, how are you doing? It is Tuesday night, so it is Mike and Lauren live. What are we talking about tonight?
Well, first,
Okay, first.
if this is your first time watching, go check out one of our other videos. They're shorter and edited, and
More factually correct.
yes, these are just ramblings. So.
Yes. But tonight we're going to be rambling about my sister.
Hi.
She's here!
That's
I made
Jackie.
it.
She surprised my parents for a Christmas present and came all the way home from Seattle, and she said she'd be on the live show with us. So if you saw our car payments are not okay video,
If you saw Mike's rant video.
yes,
There's a
my one and only
rant.
rant. And she accepted the challenge, so here she is. We're going to talk about her finances. We're not going to go in too in-depth about her finances, but she'll tell us some key figures, and then we're going to talk about what kind of car she should get and what her plan is to get that car. What's going to be interesting is two things. First, she made a list of questions that I would have never thought about because it's been so long since the first time I ever bought a car that some of these questions are not stupid questions, but I would have never thought of them.
Look at how you being
She's
prepared.
so all prepared. And then, as a little game at the end, I've printed out the first page of Craigslist in her city, in Seattle, and she went through and starred her favorite ones, and I haven't seen it yet. So we're going to pick her favorite picks, and then I'll give my opinion on them. So, without further ado, let's get started. What are we going to start with? Jackie, how much money do you have? How much money do you make? And how much do you want to spend?
Can I say I work at Starbucks?
Yeah.
Okay. I work at Starbucks as a shift supervisor, so I make roughly like $12 an hour, your normal manager wage. And
Manager. Mrs. Manager. I didn't know she was a
yes,
manager.
I am. I'm moving up, getting promoted. So.
Wow.
In January, she did that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought to manager. Go ahead.
And I'm currently living with my boyfriend's sister, and we are living with them not paying rent, so that is making me able to save money, and in the first 3 months I've saved $2,000.
Wow.
So that's all I have right now,
But
but
that's impressive for 2 months.
yes.
3 months.
3 months. Still, for a few months.
So how much are you saving per month then? And I don't know any of these details. We're talking about it for the first time.
I should have thought about this. Roughly $300 or $400 a paycheck, so every 2 weeks.
So $600 to $800 a month.
Yes.
So what's all so you're making $24,000 a year. How much do you make? How much of your paycheck? How much is your paycheck every 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's different, like $600 or
Ballpark.
$700.
Okay, so you're basically
Half.
living on 50%.
Yeah.
That's very good. Congratulations, Jackie.
And you want to know why I'm saving that much money is because of you guys.
Aw.
Oh.
I didn't know this. So that's really cool. So, living on 50% of your income, but you are living rent-free. So that's
Right now,
a big
yes.
contributor.
Yes,
of it.
that is a big contributor.
And
I wouldn't be able to do that when we lived in Seattle because our rent was exactly what I'm saving a month.
Okay.
More than that.
Okay. And so, you have $2,000 now, you're saving $800 a month, and you need a car. So,
Yes.
the question is, what kind of car should you buy? How much should you spend on it? And you're getting rides with your...
I can use the car that we have now. It's my boyfriend's sister's car, and me and my boyfriend are sharing it right now. So we do have a car, but having my own car, being able to maybe pick up a second job and not have to worry about who needs picked up when and what,
Okay.
kind of makes it easier.
Okay. So, your initial thought, tell us the story of the Turkey and the Ford Explorer briefly, in 30 seconds or less.
Briefly, I had been seeing in this town the new Ford Explorers. They're so cute. The girl had one and they had little lighted cup holders. Long story
Lighted
short,
cup holder?
it was cute. You could change the color.
I'm sure it was
Okay.
really cute.
It was precious. They looked a little bit like Range Rovers. Big SUV. We have to drive over mountain passes. I figured, what better to drive over mountain pass than this
Then a top
giant,
heavy giant.
yeah,
thing. Okay.
exactly. So, anyways, I was interested in them for a while, and the Ford dealership was offering a free turkey if you test drive a car. Well, I checked the price before I went, and realized that they were $40,000-$50,000, and knew that was something that I couldn't afford. However, we still wanted to go
for the free turkey.
for the free turkey. But now I have this guy hounding me,
She's got a
Salesman.
salesman hounding me. So.
I guess the $50,000.
But that's not to say that I wasn't still looking here
Mm-hmm.
or looking for like a $20,000 car. I thought and sort of think that $20,000 is okay.
Okay. So obviously we disagree on that. So, but she has accepted the challenge and she's going to do it my way, and we're going to put it all out there, and if she's broken down on the side of the road in the middle of Seattle, then it's on me and I got to figure out how to fix it. So, what you need to find, how much you have $2,000 now. Oh, my computer fell asleep. You have $2,000 now and you're saving $800 a month. So the question is, do you want to buy a super beater now for $2,000 and drive it for 3 or 4 months and get something, that's a little bit nicer, or even 6 months or 10 months? Or do you want to share rides now for another few months and get something a little nicer, but still a beater?
I think that's the route I want to go. I don't want the car that I saw driving down the road today where the back trunk was tied down with a string and the bumper was duct taped on. I don't want a piece of crap.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because what happens when that bumper falls off and I'm driving down the road, or I can't trust it to go over the mountain to my boyfriend's hometown or to Seattle to visit, go back and forth to Seattle.
When you say trust, what do you mean? That it would break down?
Yes. There's
So if I were
a
to
lot
tell
of, if you, there was a,
If I were to tell you that the cars that you can get for $2,000 are reliable enough that you could trust them, would you get a $2,000 car?
maybe.
Okay.
But I can wait 2 months and put $3,000 or $4,000 into it, and that's the way I'd like to do it. However, if a $2,000 car came up right now that I felt comfortable driving, there has to be some level of comfort for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care if it's ugly. I'm not like
Really?
no. I drove Eric's mom's minivan for
By the way,
months.
I love minivans because nobody wants them,
Why?
and they're so cheap because you can get a reliable car.
They're
I think
it's an
minivans
odd
are-
space. It's an odd space.
Well, yes,
and what do
this-
you do with that space?
You don't do anything with
Why
the
do you
space.
need
You
anything
drive it
with it?
because it's cheap and it's reliable.
And it's not as. Oh,
It's
I
not
was
as
just talking
fuel
about-
efficient,
yeah.
no. But
Neither is
as far as
SUV.
cheap. Okay. Regardless, you had some questions for your first initial car purchase.
Because
What
I've
were-
never bought a car. I've always been, my parents' car. They have the insurance. They do all. I've never had a car of my own. So I don't know anything about it. And I realize that half of that is me having to do my own research
Right.
and figuring these things out.
But
You're telling me to go on Craigslist and get killed.
Craigslist killer does not exist. Okay. I mean,
There's not
I know
bad
he's-
people
I
out
know
there.
there's I know
There are
there's-
bad people out there.
But Craigslist
Maybe
is not the
not
problem.
me getting killed, but somebody selling me.
Well, that's why you're gonna get it
lemon. I
inspected.
think they call them lemons.
You're gonna get it inspected, and here's what the misconception is you are just as likely or probable to get a lemon from a dealer. They're not gonna let you take the car back
Right.
if it's not what you think it is. At least with a dealer or with a private party. And I know it's more work and it's a little more confrontational, but I like buying from private parties because I can drill them with questions. I can say, why are you selling this? Well, how long have you had the car? What did you do this? You can see a stain on the thing and say, what happened here? And if they're shady, then you leave. If you have a chance to actually talk to the owner, you have an insight into the history of that car. At a dealer, I can promise you, they don't care about the history. They've done as cheap of a clean job as they can possibly do to make it look like it's super clean. And if there's a check engine light, they're gonna either just turn the engine light off and hope that it doesn't turn on until you drive off the lot, or they're gonna do the cheapest fix possible. I think there's more trust with a private party, but you have to be really confrontational. You have to ask hard questions.
Which I don't think is a problem in your just the
No.
two
You
of
would let Lauren drive to a person's house and buy a car without
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Would you do that?
But would you go with? I mean, are you going by yourself? Or are you taking Eric? Like,
Yes. Maybe.
I don't-
Eric
I
doesn't
don't-
know nearly as much as
I know,
Mike
but I
does.
don't.
The
I
car
don't think
does-
I
part
would
doesn't
go
matter.
by myself. But if I went with Mike and he didn't know, and I was the one asking questions, I think I could do that.
Okay.
We're all just humans being. Okay? We're not. there's not some.
A lot going on.
Okay,
over
there's
here.
a lot of. Okay. I drove a minivan, 19-year-old man with no kids in college. Ha ha ha. Agree with you there. Current theme of comfort is coming up again. I agree. Center aisle on. My driving test. I took my driving test in an Astrovan. So we have some minivan lovers because they're so cheap. You have to buy. You can't. Here's the problem. Everybody and their mom wants a cheap, reliable, good-looking, high on gas or good MPG cars, and what those.
So I'm not getting a Honda Civic.
What
I
that
get
is, a Honda Civic, Honda Accord, Toyota Corolla, and those are really inflated because that's what everybody wants. Everyone wants a cheap Honda Civic or a cheap Toyota Corolla. So you're paying a premium for that. What you have to find is those same engines and those same drivetrains in very undesirable things, which can be minivans or things that you don't know about, like the. This is brought up a lot, but like the Pontiac Vibe is the exact same thing as the Toyota Matrix. All the same. It is literally the same. They just swapped the badge out. All the Scions are all Toyota. You can get an XD or an XA, super ugly cars. I love them, but they're really ugly for super cheap. I actually made a list. I should have brought it up. But that's one thing I'm putting together is a list of cars under $3,000 that you wouldn't normally think to drive, but have good internals. So why don't you start with your questions, because we're already 10 minutes into this and we want to keep
Okay,
this short.
let's start really quick with my list of cars that I think I want.
On here?
No.
Okay, go
But
ahead.
the makes, because we're
Okay.
talking about
Okay,
you're
go
saying minivans. CRV. Not going to get that under
Then you can't have it.
Don't get a CRV.
RAV4.
No.
Same
Why
thing.
do you want an SUV?
Because one, I want an SUV. Two,
That's not a reason. So what's number one?
I feel safer in an SUV.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Okay, Subaru. Hatchback.
I do not like Subarus.
But okay, why?
I just,
They're
as
bad
far as
cars.
reliability, they're not bad cars. I would put them with Mazdas. I guess, real quick, and this is not factual. Again, this is all live. So this is just off the top of my head, how I order cars. Toyota, Honda, Hyundai, probably, Mazda, Subaru, maybe Kia's in there somewhere. They're kind of all in the same playing field. And then Ford, Chevy kind of on the same playing field.
What's Volvo in
And then,
Because we talked about a Volvo.
yeah, Volvo is weird.
Volvo means I roll in Latin, just so you know.
Yes, I'm actually a fan of the Volvos, especially the old ones that are like still ticking. They're actually considered to be one of the most reliable cars ever made. The Volvo 240s. You know those big boxy station wagons? Hundreds of thousands of miles. They're still ticking. If you can find one, they're awesome. That one and the Mercedes W124 chassis
They're like indestructible.
are considered the most reliable cars ever made. I would never buy a Mercedes because the repair costs are so expensive. But interesting fact. Go ahead, keep going.
So buying cars here. Let's go back.
Yeah.
Year range. What's a comfortable year range?
For you, for how much? Okay, how much money are you going to spend? So you want to save
Let's
$800
say-
a month for 3 more months, 5 more months,
Let's say $3,500 for now.
$3,500. In that range, I would say, don't care about the years. I care about the mileage. I don't care if it's a '96 if it's got 120,000 miles.
That to me screams that's 20 years old. Like,
What does it matter? You're saying it screams the looks or the reliability is what it screams.
no, but I just think it's been going longer. There has
But
to
that's
be.
the thing. I mean,
Yeah,
what
if
if
it
it's
hasn't
someone
been
who
driven.
doesn't drive? Like down here, you can get deals on cars, and now I know it's different in Seattle, but here you can get a deal on a car that's 20 years old because it's an old person and they haven't driven it.
I found the ultimate deal on Craigslist. I almost bought it for you, but the guy didn't answer. It was
Nice.
It was and I was just like, I have to buy this for her and she'll pay me back. It was $5,000 for I want to say a 2002 Camry with 68,000 miles, one owner,
Very
old person.
Low miles.
Exactly.
So okay, my only fear with that is down here they sit in
Oh,
Florida
no,
because
that's
the old
fine.
people don't drive them. Is
Right,
that-
but they're not driving a lot. They go to the grocery store and back.
Right. Either way, I would say range you're looking for is 95 to 2005,
Okay.
but with an emphasis on the lower miles.
Okay.
Next question.
That is what I've been searching for. Just so you
Good.
know.
Well, good for you.
Four-wheel drive doesn't mean you are more safe than another car with safety features. We
You
Very
just
true.
talked
You
about
wait.
that.
It's
Yeah.
coming. Okay, mile range. Go back. Let's go to miles.
I would not buy anything over 170,000 miles.
I'm so smart.
Why?
I've been searching 1995, 2005, max 170.
No, you're not.
Yes, go check my history on my phone.
That's crazy.
Okay. Makes, we did that. Okay, so those are my questions on what to buy.
Okay.
Now I have questions on negotiating and do I pay cash? Do I pay, how do I create a paper trail? Do you need a paper trail?
When you go to buy a car cash, you take the cash itself. You'd be surprised how small a lot of cash is. $10,000 is still in a little envelope like this. But you take the cash with you. You go and get a bill of sale. and
From?
Just like
you can either handwrite a bill of sale, which a bill of sale is literally just a receipt. It's saying, I, Michael Moyer, sell my blah blah blah
So you can
to
leave
Jackie
it, you can
Moyer.
have one and leave it blank for
Yeah,
whoever.
or you can go
Or
on line and download them. Just
Okay.
Google bill of sale. You make sure you have the VIN and you make sure you have the year and the names and the addresses and all the information, because if you get screwed, you have their address and everything and they signed it. And the title. You got to make sure that the VIN number on the car matches the VIN number on the title.
Okay.
And then you make sure that there's no liens on the title. So in the top right corner, or it depends on the state actually, it'll say lien holders, blah, blah, blah. Has to say nothing. If it says like owned by Bank of America, then you know that they...
You're taking over.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Bill of sale with cash. And you just literally just pay them the cash. It's that easy.
So you're saying, so that guy you called that you were, how would you have checked the history report on that car if you would have gone and just bought it? Like your RV that you just went and bought because sight unseen, I'm taking it off the...
Some things are just, like with the RV, I knew if we bought the RV for $3,500, we wouldn't be able to sell it for any less than $3,500 a condition. So in that case, is a little different because I don't care what it is. With a car, you're going to look at it, and then you're going to, if you just ask if can I take it to a mechanic, and then if they say yes, that's fine, then you do it. If they say, I got some people coming, they say, would you mind putting down a deposit? Put $100 down, and if it doesn't work out, you lose $100. That's part of the game. But put a little money down, take it to the mechanic. If everything works out, you give them the rest of the money.
Okay.
Yeah. And then as far as history reports, you can do the Carfax, and we did it for the Prius, but you gotta realize that I'm getting a text message. My dad says they're not old people, they're called seniors. Yes, we have a lot of seniors in our area.
Stick with my old people.
What was I just saying? Shoot. Dad?
Carfax.
Carfax. Oh yes, Carfax, thank you. It's $40. I don't think it's money well spent, but I do think it's worth spending. Does that make sense?
I didn't know it cost
Yeah, it's
money.
$40. Because if something's glaring, it'll show up, but do not trust it because basically Carfax only shows if it was reported to insurance or police. Maybe it's just to police, I'm not sure. But a lot of people will just do cash deals when they get in an accident. So you got to take it to a mechanic. A Carfax doesn't mean it's never been in an accident.
Okay.
Let's do comments real quick because we got a lot of them.
Saw Greggy like Subarus.
Yeah. 96 Honda Odyssey is prime example. Yes. Thank you. 96 Honda Odyssey.
Is that one of those ones that we owned with the four doors?
Yes. No. Yes. No, that was
no.
in 95. That was the year before they changed. Also, fun fact, the Isuzu... Oh, gosh. Darn it. I don't remember the name of it. There's an Isuzu minivan that from the same years, 96, 98, or 94 to 96, don't remember, is identical to the Odyssey, and you can get it for like half the price of an Odyssey. It's a great car. I'll send you the link. Greggy says yes. Ouch, I love Subarus. I don't have enough experience with Subarus just based on Consumer Reports. I just don't. They just don't have as high ratings as Toyotas or Hondas. That's why they're right below them. 4-wheel drive. Japan is number one. Yes, Japan is number one as far as cars go, and a lot of things. I like Japan. 4-wheel drive doesn't mean you're safe. That's true. Mr. Money Mustache just made an article about that. The right snow tires are way more important than 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive.
That's what I'm reading, is that really if it's a good pair of tires.
Right. And in fact, he made the point that all-wheel drive is actually less safe than two-wheel front-wheel drive. Because your back wheels can break out. Unless you're like going up hills.
Which I am.
I mean like mountainous hills.
Over a mountain pass.
What is a mountain pass?
Is it paved?
It's paved,
Okay,
but it's
you're fine.
snowy and cold and icy and swervy.
Okay. It'd be okay if you got it, but I don't think it's necessary. Manual transmission car. Couldn't agree with you more. 2 reasons to get manual transmission cars. 1, they're cheaper because people don't know how to drive or want them. And 2,
Do you know how to?
actually lots of
She
reasons.
doesn't know how to.
I thumbs down all the ones that were manuals.
I'll keep going.
Then learn how to do it. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yes. Reason to get manual transmission. They're cheaper to buy, cheaper to maintain. You can fix them yourself. You can't fix an automatic transmission yourself, at least very easily. You can change your own clutch. And you get better fuel economy. And the drivetrain is more reliable. Always cash, get a better deal. I agree with you. And the Rodeo, that's not the Isuzu, but the Isuzu Rodeo is the Forerunner. No, Passport. Isuzu Rodeo and Passport are identical, and the
You can get a
Isuzu
cheap
something.
Passport. Is that the...
Yeah. I'm going to look up that minivan because it was really interesting when I found it. Next question, though. Go ahead.
Let's see. Talk about tires.
Yep.
License plate. I just have... The rest of the questions are about, like, driving off without insurance, driving off without a license plate, like, of physically going and getting the car and not necessarily what car to buy.
Okay, so when you buy a car... Oh, I found the Isuzu thing. It is an Isuzu Oasis is identical to a Honda Odyssey
fancy.
Sounds really
for the years 1996 to 1999. There was one in our area for $2,000 with like 140,000 miles. And it would ride forever. Anyways, when you buy a car, license plate. So, there's a couple ways to do this. The right way and the way that everyone does and gets away with. So the right way is to get insurance and go to the tax collector, and they'll give you a temporary 30-day tag. And so you would go to the person that's selling the car, you would give them the money, and they would give you the title and the bill of sale, and you would take that to the tax collector and get a temporary tag. The way that everyone does it, and I've always done it, and I've never gotten a temporary tag in my life except from a dealer, is you just ride without a license plate. And if a cop pulled you over and you had the bill of sale dated for that day and the title, you can just...
So you'll
It would
go
have
to
to
jail?
be a pretty... It's possible. I've just never heard of it. And I've never... And all of my friends, and you know, Ryan, Alex, and me, we've probably bought a total of 50 cars. I've never gotten a temporary tag and never had a problem with it. The other option is you can just ask the person to be able to drive with that license plate and be on their insurance, but now that's their liability, which is better for you, but if you were to get in an accident, they would still be liable.
Okay.
So basically you give them cash, you have them write a bill of sale, get the title, drive it home, don't drive it anywhere but from there to your home, then the next day go to the tax collector and give them the title and the bill of sale.
I don't question that.
No.
Okay.
No, you give them the title and the bill of sale, they'll give you a license plate, and they're going to charge you sales tax on it. So you're going to give them, so in your budget, you need to make sure that you account for that. I would say add 10% for title fees, sales tax, and license plate fee. Maybe more than 10%, because a new plate, if you've never had one, is like $230. So if you have $3,500 saved, make sure you only buy a $3,000 or a $2,800 car. Okay, let me go back here. Greg E says you get a one-way pass from state police in West Virginia to get it home. Does that mean, is that like a legit thing, or that just means you just get a one-time deal on that? Yeah, bad idea. You're opening up to a lot of liability there. I agree. The right way to do it is go to get a temporary tag. I just have never seen anybody do it and never get in any trouble for it, so I don't know.
I have one more question for you.
Yep.
Is there any circumstance that you would buy a car from a dealer?
Me
I was
or
going
for
to answer
you?
for Mike and say no.
And
I'm not saying-
speak about everybody else, because every single person I've talked to is not okay with this.
Not okay with buying from private parties?
Because they've been told that it's not okay.
Right. So, but
Have
is
you read
there-
any of the comments? Because everyone on the comments says
Private party cash?
yes.
So there's no reason to. Or what if, okay, so like the Dave Ramsey thing, I saved that $8,000. Can I go buy a car from a Honda dealership for $8,000 cash?
You can buy a dealer whenever you want, but you have to recognize you're paying
More.
$1,000 to $2,000 just for the convenience. It's not any safer, that's a myth. It's not any more reliable, that's a myth. You're not going to be guaranteed not to get a lemon, that's a myth. All you're getting from getting a dealer is you're seeing 100 cars in one lot in one spot. That's the only, you're paying not $2,000, you're paying anywhere from $500 to $2,000 to really unlimited upside, but you're paying a lot of money to see all those cars in one place. The alternative is you're going to call 20 people on Craigslist, and you're going to go see probably 3 cars before you find the one you want. It's a lot of work, but how much is your time worth? Would you rather work for $2,000? Would you rather work another 100 hours at Starbucks, or would you rather spend 5 hours looking for a car? Truth.
What's the truth bomb?
Okay, we're already at 23 minutes. Greg says you get a one-time deal to drive with no license plate. So, meaning if you get caught, then you can't do that anymore? That's what I would assume.
Probably,
Yeah.
Buying a dealer car is like buying an extended warranty. Ooh,
Yeah, purely psychological thing.
that's good.
Okay, we're at 23 minutes, so this is longer than we wanted, but real quick, the camera may die, and if it does, it's not going to die, it's going to shut off, and I'm going to turn it back on. We're going to real quick go over some of the cars. All I did was print out the first page of Craigslist in Seattle, where she's from. So real quick, Jackie, I was going to go through these, but you just tell me the ones that you want out of that.
Reset.
We're back on.
This is terrible.
Okay, that was
There
weird.
you
The camera actually had the shutter frozen. I had to actually power it, unplug it, battery. Anyways, we're back. Sorry it took so long on that, and we'll wrap up real quick. Basically, Jackie's favorite is the Volvo V70. It's a 99 with how many miles?
A lot.
How many?
188.
Okay, it's not terrible. I don't know too much about these Volvo V70s. The only ones I know about is the 240. This is not a terrible choice. So, we were frozen. So I was showing you what it looked like. That's what we're looking at here.
Can't see.
What's your next choice?
I know that this would be one of your choices here for me. I would do that if that's all I could find.
This is a 98 Toyota Sienna.
I think my
the
family
minivan
had one of those.
we were just talking about.
It's pretty low miles, isn't it?
Low miles. It doesn't say how many miles. But everything's working. $2,200. So here's a minivan, a Toyota minivan with low miles. It doesn't say how many. But if this were under 170, this would be a great choice. Go on.
The Elantra.
The Elantra. See, you're getting it. You understand.
I get it.
You play stupid to me, but you get it. 162,000 mile for a 2005 Hyundai Elantra for $2,800.
This one's great, but it's manual.
That's
So-
good.
Learn, let's teach you.
I'm
That's
not
good.
doing that on the mountains, in hills, in snow.
And-
Thanks.
It's
here's an-
more fun.
Here's a 93 Accord, 153,000 miles. This is a
What's that?
5-speed. The only reason why I wouldn't
Oh,
do
they
this
want to know
one.
cost. You're not
Oh,
telling
God.
costs.
Oh, yeah, I am. I have for the last ones.
Oh.
The Volvo was 2,000, the Toyota minivan was 2,200, and the Hyundai Elantra was 2,800. So let us know which one of these you would pick. The problem with this Honda Accord is it's got a subwoofer, it's got a
This one doesn't
stereo
beat.
system, aftermarket headlights. The problem with these is someone wanted to be a racer, they wanted performance.
So they ran it hard?
Yeah, so they ran it hard.
And here's
That's not
this
saying that
one.
that's permanent, it's worth a glance, but what's this one?
That's the winner.
Here's a, you can't even see the picture, I'm not going to show you, but it's the old boxy Buicks. V6, 1990 for $1,500, but under 117,000 miles, new tires. I honestly don't believe this one. It'd be worth checking out for $1,500, it's possible, but this one looks a little sketch. I'm not so sure.
And that's really it. This one's a manual. The rest of them are BMWs, which you said no.
Oh, this
Ford.
Del Sol. Here's 170,000 miles, but
I've
it's a
never
5
heard of that car.
It's a Honda Civic. The Del Sol.
It's a Del
Oh,
Sol.
sorry.
It's in Spanish.
Here is a Honda Del Sol. It is a 93, so it's actually pretty old. But it's $3,000, 170,000 miles. I would not pick it over the other ones, but that's not a bad choice. And where's my
Ford.
favorite? There's a $3,100 something. Oh, here's the winner right here. $500
Yeah, there's no transmission.
for a Saturn.
No, read that.
No
long
transmission at
term.
all?
No transmission. The
Oh,
engine's
finally gave
leaking
out.
oil.
Sorry. Okay. That was my bad. There was one when I was scheming. 750. Here's a Ford Taurus for
Ford.
750.
You still,
I know.
No Fords.
Well, there's one thing, and this is what we'll close with, and then we'll. Yeah, I will teach you to drive a manual transmission here soon. Here's one
here
thing
for 2
that
more days.
I will end with. As far as buying beater cars, I'm beginning to think, and I'm going to run the numbers on this, and we're going to make a video about it. Is it worth buying a cheap old Ford Taurus or something for $750 like that when it's running and it's fine, and you know it's going to break? So maybe it's not the best case scenario for you because you have to drive mountain passes and stuff, but that compared to $3,000, are you going to have more than, what is it, $1,250, $2,250 of repairs? Probably not. So there's a whole nother angle of this that maybe you do just buy a cheap beater car and know that you're going to have to put $1,000 into it, but who cares? You only spent $750. So I'm going to try and explore that. What do you guys think about that? And
Yeah, we had a lot of comments.
okay, we got a lot of comments. Teacher driver manual,
You
yes.
guys suck.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yes. So that's another option. And what was I just going to say? I don't remember. We're losing it. We're losing the show.
Yep.
Oh, that's not for you. So we picked a couple good ones out of there. I actually was not familiar with the Seattle area, so just printing those out was the first time I really looked up there. Because in our area we have a lot of nice Florida cars. That's really promising for me. So I think you can find a great car for $3,000, no problem, and you'll be able to afford that in how many months? You have $2,000 now. You need to get to $3,500, so $1,500. You could be there in 3 months, 2 months.
Cool.
So we will let you know what kind of car she gets. We're going to have her up in Seattle. She doesn't know yet. She's going to take pictures with her phone and video with her phone through the buying process.
Okay,
Tell us how it goes.
sure. I mean, you hook me up with one of these cameras, I'll film it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll stick around on the comments section for a little while longer if because I know you guys are a few seconds behind. But thanks for watching. Great show.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Really?
Yeah.
Guess that's nice of you.